Hello, my name is Bill Hettling. I am the current president of the board of directors, and with me is
Mike Peckham. I'm treasurer.
And Mike and I just wanted to review the highlights of our January 23rd board of directors meeting with all of you. We started out with two presentations from outside vendors. One was Wells Fargo Investment, and the other was Arizona Group, our insurance brokers. And Mike, can you take us through a quick overview of both those presentations?
Yes, Wells Fargo investment branch manages our reserve fund investments, which are approximately $10.5 million. 2019 was a very good year from an investment standpoint. We generated earnings of close to $1 million. And all of these earnings reduce the amount that the association would have to come back to homeowners for. So having this level of investment is very, very positive, and Wells Fargo has done a good job. That being said, as part of our fiduciary responsibility, we go to the markets to look at our vendors and make sure we're receiving the best service, the best price. And so the Finance Committee is currently involved in evaluating investment bankers, including Wells Fargo. With respect to insurance, we had our renewal, and the increase this year was higher than we had anticipated. And that's because general experience by insurance companies in the markets from a claims perspective has caused them to increase their premiums, in some cases significantly. Now, we believe that as an association, we're doing as good, if not better, than other associations of an equivalent size. And so we have approved the new agreements, which renew at the end of this month. Bill?
And then after that, we had an update of our treasurer's report. And I'd like to just have Mike take us through the key pieces of our dashboard that we look at every month in regards to our financial status.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So we do present a full valuation of all the financials and our position. We do have one slide, which you'll see in front of you, is our key performance indicators. So at the end of December, our operating cash was just over $1 million. And this fluctuates a little bit on a month-to-month basis, but a very solid position. And we have 3.5 months of operating cash at the end of December compared to 3.4 months at the end of November. And you can see those, the black indicator is the current month, and the white indicator or tan indicator is the prior month. And they're both within our target range of between 2 and 4 months of operating cash. Our current ratio is a target of 1.2. That makes sure we have enough current assets or cash to be able to cover our current liabilities. And both this month, at least at the end of December, as well as at the end of November, it was right on target at 1.2. Our year-to-date operating deficit was $82,000 compared to a budgeted deficit of $103. And if you remember what we have indicated previously, that this is a non-cash deficit. So it's right on target. It's where we expect it to be, and it doesn't mean that we've consumed any cash because our non-cash expenses of depreciation are more than the actual balance of $82,000 deficit. Our quarter-to-date investment return on investment in excess of the CPI is at 4.7% compared to 4.6% in the previous quarter. And as I mentioned, this is extremely good performance in 2019. If we compared it back to 2018, we actually had experienced some losses just as a result of market dynamics. And the final item we have is our accounts receivable. So it's important to look at our accounts receivable to make sure we're collecting our assessments and any other charges that are recorded for homeowners. You can see on the left-hand side is the current quarter, so our fourth quarter of 2019. And in the first month, we had collected 94%, and by the final month, the third month, 98%, which is very good collections. And that compared to the prior quarter, the third quarter of 2019, with approximately the same numbers. And certainly we ended up at 98%. So in the latter half of the year, we've had very good collections. And we look forward to continuing that trend. Bill?
Thanks, Mike. And so now I want to go over the rest of our evening. Christine, now our executive director, then went over the highlights of the various projects and programs that were completed and done over our last period that we had our previous board of directors meeting. There was a review of the workshops that the board went through, as well as the different committees and working groups and where they stood at the moment. She also provided a review of our reserve and capital improvement projects, and then had a conversation about our lifestyle events that we had in the latter part of the year, as well as upcoming lifestyle events that you can look forward to in the first part of the year. We then went through an update of some of our committees. One was the Community Planning Advisory Group. This committee has just finished the image study that it was tasked to do with the previous board. That study will be presented to the broader board on an upcoming workshop. With that, CPAG now is looking for another project, and it was suggested that that group would look at a possible remodel of the Trailhead Club. Motion was made and approved for that committee to start looking at options and pricing and opportunities. And we'll have more for you on that as the year goes on. We then had a conversation with the Landscape Committee, and they reported on their work towards an RFP. Now, RFP is a request for proposal. It's a bid. This bid will be for the landscaping of our entire community, whether it be the general landscaping, the trees, and the common areas and turf. And I believe that this is our single biggest line item in the budget, right, Mike?
It is. It's approximately a third of our operating expenses.
So we want to make sure that we get a good bid, a bid that encompasses all the work that needs to be done to keep the natural beauty of Los Angeles, and also do it in a very financially sound manner. We then had a conversation and a revision to the homeowner process for requesting trees to be trimmed. That was made and approved. You'll be able to see that in the new policy area within our website, our Los Angeles website, in the next few days. We then had a consent approval for over 60 residents to be on committees. We have between 11 and 12 committees here at Los Angeles at any one time, and we have 60 residents that spend a good amount of their time volunteering on these various committees, so they were all approved. We also had a request and approval for a one-year test for a free little library, and that little library will be put in the Highlands and will be monitored by the residents of the Highlands, and we'll let everybody know how that test went at the end of the year. For new business, we approved the meeting minutes for the November 14th, 2019 meeting. There was also an improvement request made for our records request policy, which was moved and approved, and you'll see that also on our website going forward. And the board approved the cachet declaration amendment that then allows the people of the community to go forward with any improvements that they need to make on their condominiums and their property. The residents were asked to discuss. The resident time was then brought forward. There was 2 discussion points. One was on the colors of the return walls. That resident will be working with the architectural committee going forward to understand the discussion of how we paint those return walls. And then there was a discussion with several residents on our gates. And Mike, can you kind of sum up where we are on gates?
Yes, the Security and Safety Committee has been tasked with managing the gate project. This is a huge project. As you all are aware, we have approximately 53 enclaves with over 70 gates. And as these gates have aged since they were first installed, we've seen numerous breakdowns and significant costs. So we've been reserving for these items for the last 15 to 20 years. And we kicked off the research for this project actually in 2018 when we looked at possible vendors as well as implementations at other HOAs in the valley. We met with our own vendor, Park Pro, that maintains our gates today to discuss the issues that are causing the gates to break down. We expect to have a quote back from them actually by the end of this month, so tomorrow. And we'll be reaching out to other vendors as well. This will be a big project that will extend over 2 years. We expect to get it started in the second quarter of 2020, at the latest in the third quarter, and it'll stretch into 2021. The estimated cost is something in the neighborhood of $750,000 to $1.2 million. And we'll tighten up on those costs as we get bids in and we start to move forward. And we will keep you updated as we do.
Thanks, Mike. So we hope that this little video has helped you understand the work that the board is doing for you and understand some of our upcoming projects and programs that we're going to be working on. Mike and I and the rest of the board hope to see you in the February meeting, and thank you for your attention today.